Alright guys, we're going to continue our discussion of trig ratios with our next set of notes. So hopefully you are getting better at setting them up. Today we're going to put them into the calculator and actually solve for variables. So it says find the value of the variables to the nearest tenth. Show work. First thing I'm going to do is throw SOHCAHTOA up here. Going to be our mantra for everything that we do. We're always going to look for SOHCAHTOA in these lessons. Notice these are weird angles. So we had our specials with the 45, 45, 90. We had our 30, 60, 90. But when it's not those angles, this is the method that we use to solve for a side length. So we need to identify what of those three ratios we need to use. So if we have our angle measure here, then I want to look and see what other values I have. So I notice I have the leg across or opposite, and then I have the leg adjacent. I don't have the hypotenuse. So if I look through, SO uses hypotenuse, CA uses hypotenuse, TOA does not. It uses opposite and adjacent. So that tells me I'm going to use tangent. And just like in our first lesson, we always put tangent of the angle. So our angle is not a letter today. We know it's degree measure. So the tangent of 40 degrees is equal to, now we set up our ratio just like we did yesterday. So opposite is x, adjacent is 20. Now, my trick for doing this is that I go ahead and take this tangent and put it over 1. I put that whole fraction bar over 1. You can't break apart the tangent of 40. That's an operation. There is a method to do that, and we're going to learn about it actually in the next lesson. But for now, it's grouped together. You got to keep it together. So now, since that's over 1, I can cross multiply there. So I have 1 times x, or just x, and then I have 20 times the tangent of 40. And there's a reason I put that 20 up front. It just looks a little neater. And then you know, and your calculator knows when you plug it in, that you mean the tangent of 40, not the tangent of 800 if you multiplied 40 by 20. Or something along those lines. So if you keep that 20 up front, it just is a little easier. So when we multiply that, then once we have x, we're just going to plug that in our calculator. So you're going to type 20 times the tangent of 40 in your calculator, and you will get about 16.8. If you are not getting that when you type it in, it may be that your settings are incorrect, that you are in radian mode instead of degree mode. If you know how to change that, go ahead and change that and see if you can get to that right answer. If you don't know how to change that, please come see me or ask me in class, and I will make sure that we can get your calculator reading the right thing there. Okay, then the next one, we have 2 different unknown sides. So I'm going to start with 51, and since t comes before u alphabetically, I'm going to deal with that one first. So there's my 51, there's my angle, so I have the opposite, and I have the hypotenuse from there. So opposite and hypotenuse, well, that's sine. So I do sine of the angle is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. And again, I'm going to put that over 1 to make it easier to solve. So I get t equals 32 times the sine of 51. So then when I plug that into the calculator, t is approximately 24.9. Okay, I'm going to erase these arrows. We're still going to use 51 for this next one, but in this case I need to find u, which is adjacent, and I'm still going to use my hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse are cosine. So I have the cosine of 51 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. I'm going to put that over 1, and cross multiply. So u equals 32 times the cosine of 51. So u is approximately, when I plug that in, I get 20.1. All right, a couple more examples here. I do want to go over these because they're going to set up a little different. So in the first one, we just have x to find. So again, we start with our angle. I'm going to put SOHCAHTOA right up top, so I have it to reference. So I have opposite and I have adjacent. So opposite and adjacent, that's tangent. So tangent of 31 equals 17 over x. I'm going to put it over 1 again. And this is why this cross multiplying is helpful, because it's going to work for you every time. So when I cross multiply, this time I get x times the tangent of 31, because our x is in a different spot, is equal to 1 times 17, or just 17. Now remember that tangent of 31 is a group. It can't be separated. So I'm going to divide the entire side by tangent of 31. Anything I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So then I'm left with just x over here on the left, and you can just type 17 divide tangent of 31 in your calculator. So when you do that, you should get 28.3. Okay, let's try another one. So I'm going to start with 57, A, and I need a number there, so I can't use A and B at the same time. So A is adjacent, and then 14 is opposite. So I have adjacent and opposite, and the one that uses adjacent and opposite, again, is tangent. So tangent of the angle is equal to opposite is 14, and adjacent is A. I'm going to put it over 1, and I'm going to cross multiply again. So I get A times the tangent of 57 is equal to 14. So I divide by the tangent of 57 on both sides, and A then is approximately 9.1. All right, I'm going to erase these blue arrows. So I'm starting with 57 again, but this time I'm going to deal with B, and I still need a number. So my B value is my hypotenuse, so I know I'm either using sine or cosine. And then 14 is opposite. So opposite and hypotenuse are sine. So I have sine of 57 equals 14 over B. Again, over 1, cross multiply. So B times the sine of 57 is equal to 14. I'm going to divide by the sine of 57 on both sides. So B is approximately 16.7. Alright guys, we'll practice some more of these in class. If you have questions, come in and see me. I will see you in class.